Hi. So, setting boundaries, if you're a bit of a people pleaser and you're kind of wired to try and make sure everybody else is okay, yeah, it can be really challenging. So, setting boundaries can feel like we might push people away or we're not taking care of other people. And, that's this kind of inbuilt thing that we have. But if we don't set boundaries, then it takes its toll on us. And primarily we have a duty to ourselves to self-care. And if we don't set boundaries and we don't self-care and we're not checking in with, am I feeling okay with this, and actually that's not okay for me, how can I make this adjustment so that I feel more comfortable, and I'm in my kind of my nervous system's calm and I'm feeling good about things, then things can stack, and then we have a more sort of a stronger response, really. So it could be that we end up getting really frustrated and blowing up, or we could pull away, hide, shut down, those kind of fight, flight, freeze responses to things. And at work you don't want to be blowing up at someone or pulling away or freezing or hiding or anything, and you certainly don't want to be doing those things in your personal life, in your personal relationships, or with family and friends, etc. And it just means you're kind of up and down and up and down, and we want to kind of get to that state. So how can we kind of set boundaries that feel achievable for us when we have a tendency to make sure everybody else is okay before ourselves? And we might not even be, it sounds awful that we would do that, it makes me cringe, but at the same time it's such an inbuilt thing. It's such a hard pattern to shift. We've got to kind of reset everything and do things differently. And I think it can apply in a professional life as well as in personal life, the kind of techniques you can use. So at work, something I've kind of really learned to do, rather than being a hard yes or a hard no, it's like, well, actually I can't do that, but I can do this and this, or yeah, that we're not set up for that, but we can we can work to provide this, and then go away and come up with a solution. Always coming up with a solution. That's what we need to do at work. We've got to keep things moving. Can't be a hard no. And even just saying that, I can just feel everything calm down. Sometimes there's so much going on. There's so much pressure on everybody. We've got loads of exciting things going on, and someone throws a hand grenade in and is like, we need this, and oh my God, it's going to be amazing. And we're just like, I can't. We can't. But, we can. We just have to find a way around it, a solution, and find a creative way of, look, we've got all these things going on, but we can do these small things. And I think it's the same in, personal life, right? I think if we always come at things, and this applies at work as well, that people are doing their best, good intentions, no one's out to get us, no one's trying to make our lives difficult, but people have got their own lives, they've got their own stuff going on. And if someone around us, their behavior is feeling that it's hurting us in some way, I'm not saying they're hurting us, because they're just getting on with their own stuff, they've got their own stuff going on. What can we then do for ourselves to make us feel in a bit better place, so we're not overextending ourselves, we're not giving too much of ourselves away? We want to give, of course, giving is beautiful, and being generous and helping others and doing things for others, it's beautiful. But sometimes there are, we have our limits, and I think we have to honor those limits and honor that self-care. If something is feeling a bit like, oh, that that feels like someone's overstepped a mark, or they're taking advantage a little bit, they're being really messy in my house, or I don't know, whatever it is, or just like not being that considerate, then it's kind of okay to say something about that, but do it soon, do it quickly, do little small things that you feel comfortable doing before they turn into bigger things and blow up. And you kind of need to apply the same principles we do at work. It's like, well, this doesn't feel good for me, what's happening here, with this person or in this relationship, or I'm feeling like this person isn't pulling their weight or whatever. And it doesn't have to be some big, heavy, dramatic conversation or anything like that, but it can just be a little bit of just, tweaking a few things, just adjusting a few little things. I'm not I'm not feeling comfortable with that, but here's where I am comfortable at the moment. And then you can just do that for a little while until, you know, you feel capable of making a bigger step. And I think, you know, certainly in friendships and personal relationships and family, you know, it's everybody's got their own stuff going on. Everybody's trying to do their best. Everybody's trying to be a good friend or a good partner or a good parent or a good child or whatever. But you know, it doesn't always work out like that. So, yeah, it's just finding that little balanced way where you feel comfortable. Like, I can set this boundary. It's not forever, but this is going to make me feel a little bit better. But it's not too extreme that it's, you know, going to cause a big blow up or cause a lot of problems and anxiety, and just really feeling into that. And, you know, it could be little steps, you know, one little step at a time and then another little step. And, you know, communication is really important. It could be just like, I'm not ready for that right now. Or it just could be, hey, you know, I noticed that you've been doing this thing. Could you try tidying the kitchen once in a while? Whatever. Or it could be with a friendship, you know, oh, I've been driving every time we've gone out recently. You know, how about, you know, you drive or something like that. I don't know, just little things to make yourself feel a little bit like you're taking care of yourself. It's so important. We have to put ourselves first, and we have to self-care is all about making us the best version of ourselves so that we can be the best version of ourselves for those around us as well as for ourselves. So just have a think about some of those areas in your life and where you can just make little adjustments, and then notice the feeling on your nervous system and your insides, and whether that opens up your breath, whether everything feels a bit more expanded. And, you know, just try little things. Could be quite a difficult pattern to shift if we've grown up and lived a number of decades as that as our default. So you don't have to try and change it all overnight. Just little gentle steps that are kind of going to work out and be good for everyone, because we can actually only work on ourselves. We can't change anybody else. We can't tell people what to do. They have to figure it out for themselves. But if we set some little boundaries, it might create a little shift for the other people around us. And then, you know, that might help them in a different way as well. They might suddenly realise, oh, okay, I haven't been doing that. And, you know, that will feel good for them when they realise that perhaps they haven't, you know, they've been behaving in a slightly negative way, and then they can change that into positive, and then everybody feels better. So this turned into a longer video than I thought it was going to. Maybe I need to work on my boundaries with videos, but yeah, give that a try. And I think, you know, just some small little steps, little boundaries at first, and then keep taking them and just see how that feels.